Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's explainer is a massive one. We're diving straight into Chapter 5 of Ryuho Okawa's foundational text, The Eternal Buddha. We're talking cosmic level theology here, a total paradigm shift in how we look at the universe, creation, and honestly, the ultimate destiny of humanity. It's a huge scale, so let's just get right into what the text actually claims. Okay, let's dive into this. The text starts by completely flipping our basic understanding of the Buddha right on its head. It literally says, I am the eternal Buddha. The eternal Buddha is the eternal Dharma itself. So we have to let go of the idea of the Buddha as just a historical guy who walked around 2,500 years ago. Instead, it redefines the Buddha as the universal law itself, the ever-present truth that literally underpins everything. To map out this massive theological journey logically, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the eternal Dharma. Second, 100 billion-year history. Third, the joy of creation. Fourth, compassion in trials. And finally, humanity's choice. All right, starting with Section 1, the eternal Dharma. So the text gives us this really clear, striking definition. The eternal Buddha isn't some physical savior coming down to earth, but rather the eternal Dharma, the truth itself. It's described as the actual mind of the primordial Buddha that governs the whole universe. Think about the sheer scale of that claim for a second. The Buddha isn't just someone teaching the rules. The text argues the Buddha is the fundamental organizing rule of reality. And if you look at the original Japanese text, it explicitly asserts this. It states the Buddha has existed as this eternal teacher through, well, countless reincarnations. The passage makes it super clear. The eternal Buddha is the eternal law itself, forever guiding souls as they go through their spiritual training.
Moving on to Section 2, a 100 billion-year history.
Now, this brilliantly illustrates where things get incredibly vast. Take a look at this phrase right here, a history of 100 billion years. The book is actually asking us to zoom way, way out. To understand the true form of the Buddha, it says we have to look back to a time 100 billion years in the past. Mind-boggling, right? Let's just walk through this cosmic timeline exactly as the source lays it out. So, 100 billion years ago, the great universe is conceptualized and planned. Sometime after that, exact date unknown, our specific solar system and sun are created. Fast forward, and about 4.6 billion years ago, the Earth is formed. And all of that unimaginably long sequence, it leads directly to right now, humanity's era. This quote is absolutely central to the text's cosmic architecture. When I was about to create this great universe, I already existed. The claim is absolute. The eternal Buddha predated the universe itself. The text explains that in this sort of primordial state of pure thought, the Buddha decided what form the universe should take, literally designing the eternal laws that circulate life and order throughout the whole thing. Which brings us to Section 3, the joy of creation. You see, the text asserts that creation wasn't just some cold, mechanical process. It was a true moment of glory, driven by deep, profound emotion. The solar system, the planets, animals, plants, minerals, and humanity itself, every single piece of it was created out of immense joy. The text points out that, sure, for us it might be hard to wrap our heads around the joy felt when a literal star is given life, but it insists our world was born from that exact feeling. And what's really interesting about this is the wild perspective on time. It says that within this vast stretch of 100 billion years of solitude, the creation of our world feels to the eternal Buddha like it happened just yesterday. It's such a fascinating contrast, isn't it? Weighing an unfathomable expanse of cosmic time against the feeling of just one single, fleeting day.
All right, Section 4, compassion and strict trials.
So how does this eternal Buddha guide us? The source outlines this really interesting dual approach. On one hand, you have compassionate love, nurturing humanity unconditionally, like a caring parent. But on the flip side, you have the strict sword. The text is very clear here. Guidance isn't always warm and fuzzy. Sometimes it means imposing severe, demanding trials that are just absolutely necessary for our endless spiritual growth. Looking at the original text, it actually uses the analogy of a parent and child to explain this balance. Think about it. A parent who genuinely wants their kid to grow up right has to be strict sometimes, right? Enforcing the rules, making sure they actually learn the lessons. It explains that the teachings are sometimes unconditional love and other times a strict sword, but they're both just different expressions of the exact same ultimate compassion. Let's move to Section 5 and see how this all builds to humanity's ultimate choice. because the text doesn't just give us a cosmic history lesson, it actively demands a response. It lays out specific steps for humanity to achieve prosperity. Step 1, believe in the eternal truth. Step 2, stand up with courage and practice the Dharma with real effort. It emphasizes that hard work is absolutely required here. And step 3, the ultimate goal, actively build a Buddha land right here on Earth. This brings us to a really stark, binary choice that the text lays out for modern humanity, which we're just unpacking here impartially. On one side, you have prosperity. The text claims this only comes through effort, hope, and actively building that Buddha land. On the other side, ruin. And ruin is framed as the inevitable result if we choose stagnation, corruption, or if we just ignore the eternal Dharma altogether. The outcome, it insists, is completely up to human free will. Now, this specific page is where the source delivers a very strict warning. It emphasizes that the light of the eternal Buddha is here right now, holding final authority, but ultimately leaving the choice in our hands. It warns that if humanity chooses to just stagnate, destruction is waiting. The text is incredibly urgent here, practically begging readers to spread this truth to prevent our total ruin. So the crucial point is summarized perfectly in this quote. Choose. You must choose what you will take. Will you take prosperity or will you take ruin? The gravity of this final warning is absolute. There's literally no middle ground here. The text is challenging every single reader to look at their own actions and make a definitive choice. And that brings us to the final dramatic ultimatum posed by the book. After looking at this 100 billion year history and the laws of the eternal Dharma, what's it going to be? Will humanity choose to step up and build a Buddha land or face ultimate ruin? It's a massive, provocative question, and the text insists we are answering it right now, every single day. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and until next time, stay curious.